Take the Bible from behind your face. I would say take the hood off your head, but you already done that. You pretty much you replaced that Klan hood with a Bible. And just like the Klan hood is not going to protect you eventually, the Bible won't either. Because the Bible knows. God knows. Jesus knows. And what he knows is y'all are absolutely full of it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chris 2 Cents podcast. It's been a while, but this is your boy Chris Stevens, a writer who's going to talk about his 2 cents with common sense. Hopefully you all are doing well out there. I want to get to the heart of the matter this week. And as a journalist, as a creative person, I've never felt more vulnerable in what I do in my profession and in my hobbies as I do right now. This is the first time in my life that I've really felt like, damn, I could really be in trouble if I say the wrong thing. Why is that? Well, if you missed the news, I don't know how you can miss it. I mean, it's everywhere. Jimmy Kimmel was pulled from ABC late nights because of a monologue where he mentioned the untimely deceasing of the podcast guy, the one who everyone swears was like this great change agent who brought civil debate to the fore, which is absolute BS, when he was really just spouting nonsensical, racial, misogynistic, homophobic BS. And I'm not going to sit here and say whether he deserved it or not, because that's not my call. But what I will say is the rush to deify this man is absurd. I have no problem saying that. I've even written a column on it. It's on my Patreon, unlocked. I will put a comment in the description below. I will put the link in the description below, not a comment, but a link in the description below for you guys to check out. So when Jimmy Kimmel gets pulled off the air for something that was as innocuous as, people are really trying to make a big deal out of this guy's death, and they're using it for their political agendas and whatever, and he gets pulled off the air, that's terrifying, because that goes against everything the First Amendment is supposed to, protect you from, with the right to free speech. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that free speech doesn't have consequences. I mean, there are people who get fired and, ostracized all the time for saying the wrong thing. But this country has always been founded on criticizing people. I mean, you look no further than the Boston Tea Party. Bunch of pilgrims threw tea in the water because of a tax or a tariff, as it were. So when you take that into account, and you take into account that, a network of ABC stature, like one of the big three, because the big three has always been ABC, NBC, CBS. Fox just started, become a thing 30 years ago. But it was always, before them, it was always ABC, NBC, and CBS. And CBS already canceled Stephen Colbert. So you've got two of your big three capitulating to fascism, basically. And the one late night host that did not lose his job as of yet is the one who was on TV petting that dude's fox pelt like a damn dog. There ain't no coincidence, people. Like, this country is now a country of shakedowns. Like, you have to kneel down, kiss the ring. You can't say anything negative. You can't say anything bad, or else they will come for you and your livelihood. Those are the facts. Those are the facts. And it should terrify you that as long as we've lived in this country, that presidents have been joked on. I mean, for crying out loud, these are the same people that made fun of Barack Obama when he was crying over the slaughter of the Sandy Hook kids. What was funny about that? What was funny about the president of this country showing empathy and sympathy and mourning the loss of 6-year-old kids? That didn't have to happen if we had gun control in this country. I mean, so y'all can make fun of Obama, showing human emotion, but nobody can make fun of the dude who literally doesn't know whether he's coming or going half the time. Probably more than half the time, if we're being completely honest. And now we can't say anything bad about a guy who whose best words were Martin Luther King was a terrible person, and I don't want LaQuisha Jones as a pilot, and that LGBTQ people should be stoned to death. Like that is the hill you're willing to die on. And I found it funny from a local perspective because on Facebook there's this really popular local Delaware group where this dude, I mean, honestly, anybody could do what this dude does in his Facebook group. He has a newspapers.com account. I have a newspapers.com account needed for journalism and other purposes. So all this dude does is just clip old newspaper clippings and says, "Hey, look at what happened here this day in Delaware. Hey, look what happened here that day in Delaware." People just kind of reminisce over, "Oh yeah, I remember where I was." And then if it's like, he'll post all state teams for sports, and then the old athlete's like, "Yeah, I remember when I used to be the, you know what?" Anybody could do that. I could do that. Matter of fact, I might. So they had a Starbucks run the other day, and the wife posted a cup with the saying "I am you know who" on it, the one they're encouraging the people who supported him to put on their Starbucks cups. And that caused rightfully a big stir. And there was a message that they posted said, "Oh, this gentleman wanted me to post this for whatever reason." He's like, and it was a dude who's saying, "I'm a gay black man, and you're pretty much saying that my life doesn't matter, and this does not make me feel safe, so I'm out." And I respect that dude for saying that, because after he left, there were a lot of white people from Delaware. I mean, Delaware has never really been a place of racial harmony. I don't care what people tell you. Yes, this is Joe Biden's home state, but Joe Biden was working against some real jackwagons here in Delaware. And those jackwagons feel comfortable taking the mask off since an absolute racist, fascist predator runs the country now. They are so comfortable. Like white people in Delaware are funny because you know how white people in the largest scheme of the country always talk about how scared they are of Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York City, Los Angeles. Well, basically anywhere there's a large black population. Delaware ain't got but one city, one with a large black population. That is Wilmington, Delaware. And it is so funny to see these white folks on Facebook in the comment sections of different Delaware related things talking about, "Oh my God, I wouldn't be caught dead walking through Wilmington after a certain hour." And am I supposed to give a damn about that? Am I supposed to really be, you know, shocked that you're using racism to justify ignorance that doesn't even factor in? Because I walk the streets all the time. In fact, I'm recording this on a Sunday. I'm preparing for my last walk of the summer nights because summer ends. Summer solstice ends tonight, and fall Sunday night, and fall starts Monday morning. Monday is by the time you guys will be watching this. So I'm not gonna sit here and just pretend. I'm not gonna pretend that Wilmington doesn't have problems. I mean, yes, it's often that you will hear gunshots every once in a while. It's often that you will hear about the crime in the city and all of that. But the thing is, white people use it just for bigotry purposes. They don't have any real concern about the welfare of the city or the people in the city. They just want to get their jollies off and make, racist jokes about black people. So when I saw that post about, the gay black man leaving this local group that's so popular, and people talking about, well, why was he here in the first place? And it's like, well, you're not gonna make everybody happy, and you should stick to your principles. And I think the thing that bothers me the most about this is that this dude and his wife and the people that agreed with him are hiding behind Christianity, which is 100% BS. Because I mean, listen, I've attended church services regularly since I was 17 years old. My best friend has a church. I've only heard him preach a few times, and that makes me a bad friend. Yes, it does. And so I admit it. I'm not a very religious person, and I stand my ground on that. But from what I do remember attending churches services with my mom as a teenager, is that God and Jesus don't judge the way humans do. Last time I checked, Jesus hung out with prostitutes. He turned over tables in the temple. He fed 5,000 people. Was it 2,000? I know he fed a lot of people with like a couple fish and a few loaves of bread. Jesus probably didn't give a damn if anybody was gay or transgender or lesbian or not. God probably don't either. They just want you to stop being murderous, racist, misogynic, homophobic bigots. And that's a challenge for white people because, and the funny thing, the thing that will always be funny to me about this cult that they're in is that the dude that they worship doesn't give a good goddamn about them either. He don't. Like, if you listen to this dude, he says, I love the poorly uneducated and smart people hate me because they can see through you. They absolutely can see through you. Your cult members do not. The only thing that your cult members, care about is how much do you hate the same people that they hate or are afraid of or jealous of or insecure about. These folks have found their, their circle, so to speak. I mean, you can sit here and say that this is about economics when the economy's in the tank because of his tariffs. You can argue that, illegals, and I don't subscribe to this at all. No, there's no such thing as an illegal human being. I don't care where you come from. You're a human being. You come here to this country to work and support your family. I'm all for it because that's what we all trying to do at the end of the day. We're all trying to support our families. Do I want to quote Diddy on this? This might be the one time because he had a good point when the members of the band on that Making the Band episode were talking behind his back about not going to Junior's to get him some cheesecake. He said, nah, be fly about your stuff. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to be a racist, be proud to be a racist. If you want to be misogynistic, be proud to be misogynistic. And the crazy thing about it is the white women who, are married to these, misogynists, they forget that their men turn on them too. Because who doesn't watch Dateline? Who doesn't watch 48 Hours? Who ends up getting it in the end? If you want to be, homophobic, transphobic, whatever, be fly about it. Don't hide behind God because God is not a front for your mess. He's not. And again, I don't subscribe to any more organized religion than the man in the moon. But what I can tell you is what I do remember is that God wasn't about this dumb stuff. Not a chance. Like, this is the same dude whose main tenet is love. That's it. That's the list. Love your neighbor, love your family, love yourself, love, nature, love life. Being racist ain't love. Being misogynistic ain't love. Being homophobic and transphobic ain't love. This heaven that y'all swear y'all are going to because you hold yourself up as being better because you're white and straight, it's just going to look like a bunch of flames because that's actually where y'all going. And truthfully, I may not have a heaven or a hell to put somebody in, but what I can tell you is this. God is watching. If y'all really believe in him like that, if you really believe in a spiritual force overseeing all of this, then he sees all. He sees that you are hiding behind him and organized religion to just be absolute jackasses. That's your choice. Nobody has to subscribe to it, though. Nobody has to, just go along with it like, oh, wow, that's just the Christian way. The hell it is. The hell it is. I know very religious people who, are Bible thumpers and, holy rollers and all of that, don't have near the negativity attached to them that these bigots do, claiming Christianity. You're not going to get me to subscribe to that. That ain't what God is about. That ain't what Jesus is about. If the Christianity that you swear by is like this, then no wonder nobody wants any part of it. But I truly believe that's not the Christianity that people really, want to subscribe to. There are Christian folks who, are not bigots, who are not racist, who don't, make jokes about being scared to walk through a city at night. They're not the same ones that call trans people, their dead names or the pronoun, or don't acknowledge their pronouns. Like, this is just y'all being bigoted and using religion to, cover up your bigotry. Take the Bible from behind your face. I would say take the hood off your head, but you already done that. You pretty much you've replaced that Klan hood with a Bible. And just like the Klan hood is not going to protect you eventually, the Bible won't either. Because the Bible knows. God knows. Jesus knows. And what he knows is y'all are absolutely full of it. And that's why y'all identify with the dude that got killed so much, because y'all swear that, oh, he was just the truth teller. People weren't ready for the truth. Oh, the truth that he said that black women are inferior, even though black women warned America of what is going on right now. That truth, the same truth that y'all swear that, LGBTQ people are going to be stoned to death because they're influencing our children. But every time you look up, it's a Catholic priest. It's a local, congressperson, a local politician, or some random white dude, molesting children. That ain't no drag queen. That's not a trans woman or a trans man. That is not a lesbian. That is not a gay man. That is not a non-binary person. That's y'all. Own your stuff. Period. That's really what all those boils down to. Yes, this started off as a concern about free speech, and it still is, but I'm going to get my money's worth. Trust me. So trust and believe. I know that people are going to be upset about what I'm saying here. I mean, what are the odds that people that even really care about Jimmy Kimmel really find this? I mean, people who care about Jimmy Kimmel will probably be like, yeah, he's right. But the people who are, caring about the other guy, what are the odds they find this? If you want to, talk crazy in my comments, you're more than welcome to. You'll just be talking to yourself, because I'm not going to acknowledge you. In fact, I'll probably end up deleting your comments. I'll tell you that right now. So, try as you might, but I'm going to get this point across. And as long as I can still say it, because God only knows what's going to happen to free speech. When you look at what's going on in the media with all these conservative organizations buying up TV stations and radio stations and newspapers and studios and all of that stuff, it's like this was again, black women warned you. Jamel Hill, Joy Reid, so many others just have said, watch out for these bigots, because they are taking over media, and that is how they're going to influence this country to become fascist. And nobody listened. Well, I mean, people listened, but not enough people listened. And now people are like, oh, wow, they took Jimmy Kimmel off the air. This doesn't seem right. Where have you been? I know. Hiding behind the Bible. Swearing that everything that is bigoted and fascist and authoritarian and a dictatorship-esque is the Christian way. This is how I know God's not going to save you, because y'all serving the wrong damn God. That's my 2 cents for this episode. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. If you want to get in contact with me, respectfully, contact information will be in the description below. So thank y'all for rocking with me on this edition of the Chris 2 Cents episode. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. Until the next time we speak, y'all be good or be good at it.